Hi everyone, Flaming Footy here and welcome back to another YouTube video on the channel. And today guys, we are going to be continuing our AFL 2022 big round reviews. Yes, here we are for another round review. We are going to be reviewing every game of round 18 of the 2022 AFL season. So let's just go ahead, not waste too much time. I'm going to go ahead, hop right into things. But before we do, I just want to say that we are getting so close to 400 subscribers. At the time I'm recording this, we're just 20 subscribers away from 400. So if you are watching this video and haven't yet subscribed, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I would really appreciate it. And let's try and get 400 as quickly as we possibly can. So now the round 18 review, here we go. And it started off with an epic game on Friday night. So no Thursday night game in round 18. Now there's no more Thursday night games for the rest of the year, unless if they fixed them in finals, which would be extremely unlikely. But it was the Western Bulldogs and the Saints on a Friday night at Marvel Stadium, and the Doggies 13-6-84, the Saints 7-14-56. And this was the Doggies' last chance at really having a run for the finals. And they now go into 36 points and make this look even more interesting. And the Saints, they were never in the game. Their inaccurate kicking 7-14 could have perhaps cost them. They could have maybe come back later on in the game. It was the Doggies by 28 in a really boring game of footy though. There was nothing really exciting about it. In the first quarter, the Dogs kicked the first 5 goals of the game to the Saints 2, and then you knew from there it was going to be tough for the Saints to come back. And then, yeah, the Dogs just roared away in the third quarter, and then the Saints brought it back in the final term, but they just didn't do enough. And in the end, the Dogs won pretty comfortably, though, still, by 28 points, and make the Saints' finals chances even harder. First game on the Saturday, to the Adelaide Oval we go, where Adelaide 13-8-86 played pretty well, but Collingwood 14-7-91 were just way too strong. Nick Dacos was the really important one. 40 disposals, 3 goals. He led from the front, and yeah, really good display. The Crows kicked the first 3 goals of the game. The Pies then responded with the next 4, and then the Crows did have the better second quarter, leading by about 10-ish or so at the half-time break, 48-39, so 9-point leaders. Kicked the first one out to 15 points, and then the Pies kicked the next 2 to really bring the margin back to within a kick. The Crows, they rise again. They go back up to around a 20-point lead, and then the Pies kick the next 2 and bring it back to just, again, under that kick. And then in the final quarter, the Pies kick the first goal, and then they kick the next one. The Crows kick one, and then, yeah, the Pies, they get it out towards a 16, I think, point lead. The Crows kick the next 2 and try and keep their hopes of winning alive, but just fall short. Nick Dacos was the absolute star. Scotty Pendlebury's 350th game, and this was the perfect way for him to celebrate it. And the Pies, I think this is their 8th win on the trot, and they're looking for a top 4 spot. Now to Monaco Oval we go, where the Giants 9-5-59 put up another sloppy effort against one of the premiership contenders, Brisbane 15-9-99, and it was way too easy for Brisbane at most of the times. Now GWS, they did play well in the first half, really contending with the Lions. After having a slow start, they came back strong in the second quarter, but then in the third quarter they lost the game for themselves. The Lions banged on 5 goals, they kicked 1 goal, and then they kicked 3 goals to 4 in the final quarter, seeing that Brisbane won by even more. And yeah, the Giants, it was just another really poor effort by them, and they've been a poor side this year, have the Giants, and there could potentially even be a bottom 4 spot for them. And this was another disappointing effort against a really great team. Yes, they may have only lost by 40 points, and it could have been a lot worse, but again, still not a great margin to lose by. Now to potentially game of the round, where North Melbourne 14-8-92 overcome a Richmond side 11-22-88. Now 11-22, you don't win a game of footy when you score 11-22, 22 behinds. That is actually ridiculous, and well, they probably should have put the game away a lot earlier than what they did, and they had chances. They could have put this game away at 3/4 time. This game should have been theirs. It was just their really poor accuracy which actually just stopped them from winning this game, and they could have won this game by a lot had they been accurate. Richmond and North Melbourne is another really good performance. They kicked 6 goals in the second quarter to Richmond's 1, and when you go over stats like that, it's really interesting and alarming for Richmond as well. They haven't been able to win lately. They've been able to play, but they haven't been able to finish. And all good teams must be able to finish off the job. You saw Collingwood last week. They finished off the job after coming up against a really gritty North Melbourne side. Richmond probably should have been able to do the same thing today. This round. Arts had a chance to win the game and he didn't take it. But yeah, North Melbourne, another really good effort. This was the second week in a row they've been playing really well. They end a 14-game losing streak. Very good stuff for North. And now, who's going to finish bottom of the ladder? Now to the first of two Saturday nighters where Carlton 8-7-55 were not good enough against the strong Cats side 12-13-85, and they have established themselves now as one of the premiership contenders and one of the premiership favourites now, along with Melbourne. And this was another really performance again after half time. They probably found it a little bit too easy, did the Cats. They were winning everything out of stoppage, and it was just way too easy for them. And it was an interesting first quarter, really exciting contest. And then the second quarter, things just dried out at the end where the Cats just kicked clear. 31-48 was the score at half time, but it just felt like the Cats had way more dominance than the Blues at that half time. And then the third quarter, they did just say goodbye to them, and there was no coming back after a 1-goal quarter for the Blues. And then in the final quarter, they may kick 2 goals, but the Cats just are way too strong and have established themselves above the rest of the competition along with Melbourne. Now over to Optus Stadium for the second of two Saturday nights. This was the second Saturday nighter, and Fremantle 9-11-65 were not good enough against Sydney 11-16-82, and both teams were relatively inaccurate. But the Swans proved to be the better of the sides and caused a massive upset against the Dockers, and it was built off the back of a good third quarter, which is normally where the Dockers excel, but this time it was reverse psychology. And the first two quarters, the first half was the Dockers, and then the Swans owned the second half. And in the third quarter, they may have only kicked 3 goals, but the Dockers kicked no goals. And that's where the momentum changed, and that's where they got the lead back from being down by around 20 points to coming back and leading at three-quarter time by 3 points. And then the Dockers did kick the first 2 goals of the last quarter, and it looked like, again, they were going to run away with it. But then the Swans just so composed, keep going and just keep on adding the goals. They kicked 5 goals in the last quarter to seal the deal. This is a big win, and with Sydney's run home, they can definitely make the top 4. And for the Dockers, they can also make the top 4, obviously. But, yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see how the season plays out. Now to the MCG for a Sunday afternoon game. Hawthorn 15-12, 102. Comfortably get over West Coast 12-5, 77 by 25 points. But it wasn't as comfortable as what the scoreboard may represent. The Hawks kicked a couple of late goals at the end of the final quarter to extend the margin from 13 to 25. But for most of that, it was hanging around the 13-point margin or 15 or so point margin for most of the contest. Now, West Coast did have the better of the first quarters, but then Hawthorn came absolutely steaming out of the blocks, kicked 7 goals in the second quarter to the Eagles 3. And that's where things changed. They led by about, what would it be, 10 points at the main break. And then they led by 10 points in the main break, or 2 goals, something along the lines of that. Well, yeah, 2 goals. And then in the third quarter, both teams kicked 2 goals, so it was a relatively flat third quarter, not really a lot of action going on. And then the final quarter, West Coast, they come back to about 11 points right there, but then the Hawks kick a couple of late goals to get away and win the game quite convincingly in the end. Now to Alice Springs, where Melbourne 12-11-83 got over the Power 10-9-69. They didn't do it easily, but they got the job done off the back of a strong third quarter. They were goalless in the first quarter with Port Adelaide having the momentum, but then they did enough in the second quarter to lead. And then the third quarter, things started to go the Power's way, but then the Demons kicked a few late goals. They kicked 3 late goals to take back the lead. And then in the final quarter, they get out to a 30 point lead, 5-goal lead. And then the Power, they kick 4 goals. Well, no, 3 goals to try and restrict it, but it doesn't really go any closer than 14 points. So it's not the biggest win for Melbourne, but it is a big win, which also puts them on equal top of the table. And for Port Adelaide, their finals chances that they're running out of luck. So now to the final game of the round, where Essendon 14-19, 103 smashed Gold Coast 8-7-55. Essendon are showing signs of improvement, and Gold Coast, just like Port Adelaide, they are also running out of luck for a finals chance. Now, Essendon 14-19, they could have again won this game by a lot more than what they did, But it was a very good performance. They kicked the first 4 goals of the game. The Suns responded with the next 4. And it looked like we had a game on our hands here at Marvel. But then in the second quarter, the Bombers just explode. And then again in the third quarter. And yeah, at halftime, you knew you weren't going to get back when it was a 5-goal deficit. And you weren't really playing that well from a Gold Coast perspective. Yeah, it wasn't going to come back. And then in the third quarter, the Bombers continued to shine and led, and then they did it in the final quarter, winning by pretty much the same amount as what they did at 3-quarter time. And for Gold Coast, they could have tried to reduce this margin back down to around 30 points to make it look more respectable, but in the end, it was a blowout for the Bombers, winning by 48 points. Now, their season can actually finish on an okay state for the Bombers. So that was round 18 review, another massive round in footy. It was Dogs got over the Saints by 28, Pies over the Crows by 5, the Lions over the Giants by 40, the Roos over the Tigers by 4, Cats over the Blues by 30, the Swans over the Dockers by 17, the Hawks over the Eagles by 25, Demons over the Power by 14, and the Bombers over the Suns by 48. Ladder, let's have a look at how things are shaping up, and then we'll go have... we'll go have a look at round 19, before we get started, not round 20. Round 19. So Richmond versus Freo opens it up on a Friday night. Massive game. North Melbourne, another chance for a win here against Hawthorn at Blunston. Perhaps. They could do it at Blunston. They could definitely do it at Blunston. The Swans take on the Crows at the SCG. Port Adelaide host the Cats at the Adelaide Oval. Q clash between the Lions and the Suns. The Doggies and the D's clash at Marvel in the grand final rematch. Carlton versus the Giants. First game Sunday Marvel. Collingwood take on Essendon in the MCG, and then the Eagles do battle with the Saints at Optus Stadium. The ladder now, things are going to be getting pretty intense. There's many different scenarios, and the Cats, they are first, along with the Demons, both on 52 points. Percentage is the only thing that's separating, which again, not a lot of percentage, only 4.4% is separating the Cats and the D's. The Lions are in third, along with the Dockers and the Pies. Now, again, the Lions percentage and the Dockers are both healthy. Collingwood's 106.2, though, is what could potentially stop them from making the top 4. Sydney, they sit in 6th with 44 points, along with Carlton, with their percentage is 113, which is also pretty unhealthy. But again, it's still okay. They'll have to get some percentage against the Giants. The Tigers are on 36 points in 8th, with no wiggle room whatsoever, because the Western Bulldogs are also on 36 points with 112 percentage, and the Saints are also on 36 points with 101 percentage. That's what will stop the Saints from making finals. If it comes down to percentage, they will not be in, because 101 will not do it. Port Adelaide, they're in 11th spot. They actually moved up, believe it or not, after a loss. They're in 11th spot because of percentage, 106.9 on 32 points. The Suns are on 32 points, 104.7 percentage. Again, not great percentages, but a really big next few rounds. 5 rounds to go to play out. Round 19, 20, 21, 22, and 23. Massive rounds of footy coming up. Make sure that you hit that subscribe button so you can go ahead and watch tomorrow's round preview when it comes out. Another massive round. I'm going to be looking at another massive round of footy to come up. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe and hit that notification bell. We're getting awfully close to 400 subscribers at the time I'm recording this. Thank you guys all so much for watching. So bye everyone. Flaming Footy out.